Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to be talking about middle class, the middle class being destroyed, but I have good news for you. You are here for a reason. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And the only reason I say that is because if you want to be prepared and not scared, and if you want to take this crisis, economic crisis, and if you don't know there's an economic crisis, it's true. Don't believe the mainstream media. It's actually the economy's coming apart. It's going to be the size of the Great Depression. It's going to be short and quick. When I say quick, it's going to probably last about 2 years. But the point being is it's going to be an amazing opportunity to gain wealth. And I kid you not. But I've got a story, so let me get my notes. See, there's inflation going on. It's getting awkward. And right now, what we're experiencing in life, we're going to call this the Hot Pocket Index, all right? The Hot Pocket Index, what is that? The Economic Ninja has coined it, yes. Hashtag Hot Pockets in here. Why? It's going to probably go nowhere, but the Hot Pocket Index is the index of people that need food that can't afford it anymore, or at least the food that they're used to, okay? And they're going to cheaper alternatives because food keeps getting more expensive. Now, just so you know, if you've never understood this before, you can actually thank your policymakers, like the current administration. You could actually thank Congress, because I think they're all useless and worthless, because they all need to be voted out. We need a whole new group of people in there that hopefully won't be manipulated like the last set. And you could thank the Federal Reserve, which isn't federal or reserve. They're a private bank. Shh, don't tell anybody. They don't want you to know. It's actually what the book The Wizard of Oz was written about. All right, here we go. The title of this video is There's Really No More Middle Class. It's actually a news article. I didn't make this up. I'm going to link it below, but we're going to go over it real quick. It said there was a time when a large portion of Americans belonged to the middle class. It meant you could afford a decent living standard, such as owning a house and a car, and had savings in the bank. When baby boomers reminisce about the good old days that they were referring to being when middle class was normal. That's right, there was a day when middle class could just go out and buy a house. They can't now. Why? Because home prices are too expensive and interest rates have exploded. So mortgage rates are super high right now, and they're gonna get higher. Just so you know, it's part of a plan. Watch some other videos for me. It's too big of a title. It says right now there's according to Pew Research, the share of adults who live in the middle class households fell 61% in 1971 to 50% in 2021. So you're seeing now, of course, it's over multi-decade run, but you're seeing that shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, okay? Which means it's not gonna get any better unless you take action right now, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. It says the shrinking of the middle class is accompanied by an increase in the share of adults in the upper income tier, which increased from 14% in 1971 to 21% in 2021. At the same time, there was an increase in the share who are in the lower income tier from 25% to 29%. These changes have occurred gradually as the share of adults in middle class decreased each decade, from 1971 to 1921. And that is the point here. We need you to understand this. This slowly decrease. Slowing? I just mash words together. Decrease of the middle class is very evident over the long term, but it is not so evident over the short term. So people are deceived. We're going to talk about the cold winter, what Biden said last year. We're going to talk about it in a second. Hopefully I can remember, because that's not in the notes. It says the Census Bureau clearly shows the problem in the mean household income data through 2021. That's why I want you to go take a look at this article, because it shows a great graph of of that increasing and the middle income household, normal average household of the middle class decreasing. Now it says, most importantly, and what is often included in the analysis, is the standard of living gets paid for on an after-tax basis. When we include taxation, it becomes clear that roughly 80% of America is failing to support the middle-class lifestyle. Now let's set these notes down. Here's what's really important. It's absolutely correct. Taxation is getting worse and worse and worse. The amount that the middle class paid in taxes in 1971 was nothing compared to today, for a couple different reasons. Sure, wages have increased, right? That's due to inflation, and it doesn't matter, because even though you feel like, hey, the average salary was X, right? In 1971, now it's X times 3, that doesn't matter, because the average home in America in 1971 was $20,000. Now, the average home in America is, what is it? I mean, tell me in the comment section, but I guarantee you it's over 10 times that much right now, okay? And I don't have my notes with me. Point being is this. Sure, wages have increased 3, 4 times, let's say 4 times, maybe 5 times. Let's say 5 times since 1971. The average home has increased over 10 times. Not only that, the average gallon of gas has increased over 10 times. Do you see my point? The middle class is shrinking. Now, on top of that, sure, income tax was less because they were making less back then, and now it's more because they're making more. But back in 1971, they didn't have a luxury tax if you had a swimming pool. They didn't have a luxury tax if you owned a boat. They didn't, and this is state to state, all right? I live in California, crazy California, I get it. But there's also other taxes, differences in the way that you trade stocks. Those taxes are not the same today as they were back then. Point being is there's all these new little taxes that are hitting you every single which way. For heaven's sakes, some states, they tax you on the bag that you carry your groceries out in. My point being is that there's taxes everywhere, and we need to realize that. So how do you get around that? Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Joe Biden first. Remember when he said there was a dark winter coming? I want people to understand this. He wasn't referring to that winter. Why? Because it was fresh in everybody's minds. Everybody was talking about it. Everyone was on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you want to follow me, it's at Economy Ninja on Twitter. I definitely get loud there. But my point being is this. He meant it was going to come in the future, and they do it just far enough to where most people don't remember. Well, I want to remind you right now, a dark winter, a cold winter is coming, and he's talking about this winter. That's the plan, to crush everybody under the weight of inflation so that they're losing their homes, they can't feed their families, and they will accept what is coming out through the Federal Reserve and the US government, and that is a digital currency. Very important for you to understand. They want to get you into a spot where they're going to sprinkle and look like the savior, but they are not the savior. They are the destructor, all right? So now how do you get around this? All right, first off, start a side hustle. Start a business of some kind. They come with amazing legal tax benefits, all right? Start something that you enjoy and that the tax benefits will benefit your lifestyle, i.e. the type of vehicle you drive or where you vacation or what you do normally in life for pleasure. Build a business around that so you're not only enjoying what you do on the side, you're making money and you're having a good time, all right? You're saving taxes, saving money. That is the number one thing you can do, because through all of these wars and rumors of wars and sanctions that are going around the world, you're already seeing a division around the country and around the world with the supply chain. So you're going to have the most amazing opportunity during a crash to start a business, because you're going to be able to take advantage, start small. That's why I teach that side hustle course. Start small, start with a little bit of cash and build on the cash. Don't go into debt. And then you're going to take advantage of buying other businesses that weren't planning, did not see this coming, got smacked in the face because of the way they voted. And you're going to take advantage and buy those businesses. That is how you're going to get great, and then you're going to be a good human being with it. And that's the most important part. We are going to change this world together. It's called Ninja Nation for a reason. It's millions of people around the world that are getting prepared. They're not scared. They're in the shadows, and they are ready to pounce. And it is going to be the greatest opportunity financially of your life. So here's the last question I leave you with. Do you want to stick in the middle class that's dying, or do you want to elevate yourself to the elite? And I believe you can do that right now. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.